we discussed only about the subphylum. Now coming down to the details, that will now be taken only 3 characteristics into each. Then coming to class Cyclostomata, here the only class under Agnatha. This class includes here Cyclostomata. This includes a representative we call as Petromyzon. Can you see this over here very clearly? Petromyzon. We also call this as lamprey, right? Another example which has not been shown and we are using here is a hagfish or myxine. The structure that you can see in the diagram here, Petromyzon or a lamprey, this is an ectoparasite and sanguivorous. That means it is a blood-sucking animal. It is usually attached to the body of fish and it sucks blood. So that is why it is ectoparasite. So let us study this animal, and presence of this over the body of a fish, this can destroy food fishes totally. Alright, so let's study the same. 3 characteristics, as I said. Now I'll be restricting to. These are jawless and have circular mouth with suctorial funnel. This is how it sucks the blood and therefore it is sanguivorous. Body is cylindrical, just now you saw it, and eel-like. Third, paired fins are absent but median fins are present. So you can see, children, in the diagram, paired means 2 in number, like pectoral and pelvic, etc. You cannot see present in pairs, but single, yes, like dorsal fin, posterior dorsal, and here the caudal fin, etc. The single ones, they are present. Now coming to the second here, that is Gnathostomata, coming down to Pisces. Under this, we'll begin one by one, Chondrichthyes and Osteichthyes. So superclass Pisces can be divided into 2, the cartilaginous fishes and here the bony fishes. Why are they called cartilaginous? Because the skeleton inside is made of cartilage. Chondron means cartilage and ichthys means fish. Similarly, osteos means bony and ichthys means fish. Examples here, I'll first show you Scoliodon or dogfish and Torpedo or the electric ray. Let's look at this first. This is Scoliodon or a dogfish, and this is the torpedo or the electric ray. Alright, so Scoliodon, this is found around various coastal regions. We also call it as Bombay duck. It's a predaceous and viviparous fish. It gives birth directly to the young one, right? And if we talk about torpedo, this interesting animal, this type of cartilaginous fish, it's not looking like a fish, but it's actually a fish. Now this lives in a very slow moving bottom dwelling position, and it swims, right, by flapping action of the flap like pectoral fins. You can see this, they flap and it swims, right? It is carnivorous and predaceous, all right. And why it is called as electric ray? The reason is that it possesses an electric organ. You can see here, there's an electric organ present that produces powerful electric shocks which paralyze the prey. And that is why the electric organs are developed for predation and also to protect itself, thus for defense. So what are the characteristics, children? Endoskeleton is cartilaginous. The skin is rough with minute placoid scales. Placoid scales, they look like this. I must show you here in the diagram. Placoid scales, the details, you don't have to learn this diagram and all, but you just have to understand how there's an enamel-like surface and dentine, that means a hard substance present over the scale, that is on epidermis. Then gills are 5 pairs and gill cover or operculum is absent. So here you can see in the diagram, gills can be seen, but there is no operculum or the bony cover. Coming to the next category of the bony fishes. Here the endoskeleton is bony. Skin is soft, either naked or covered with cycloid, ctenoid or ganoid scales. Air bladder or swim bladder provides buoyancy to the fish. Let us see the examples first. Labiorohita or the rohu and hippocampus or the seahorse. Here the diagrams are, you can see, this is the commonly eaten fish, Labia rohita. We also call it as rohu. And then this is hippocampus or the seahorse, just because the mouth parts they resemble a horse. So this is an Indian fish, right? Fully grown rohu measures around 1 meter and it is without teeth. Alright, with thick fleshy lips. Gill covers are present which protect the pair of gills. You can see here the gill cover is present, and this is one of the major differences, children. The bony fishes, they have a gill cover. You can see operculum, and here the cartilaginous fishes, they do not have a gill cover, right? Only gills can be seen. Then another feature here, the trunk or the body can be seen covered with overlapping cycloid scales and the presence of fins, pectoral, pelvic, then median and anal fin can be seen. And economic importance is that this is eaten as a food. What about hippocampus, the seahorse? This lives amongst the weeds or the wild plants in the coastal waters and in temperate regions, and this clings or hooks to the seaweed with its tail. This is meant for attachment to the weed or the wild plants. Then head lies at an angle of 90 degree to the body. You can see it's making some 90 degree or right angle to the body, right? And produces a tubular snout which resembles the head of a horse. That is why it's called seahorse. Mouth is toothless and suctorial, all right? And this fish swims in a vertical position like this only. The way it is in the diagram, this is how it swims in waters. So this is about the economic importance. If you have to just think, the dry skeleton of fish is used in ornaments, all right? So this is some general characteristics, but the classification ones, 3 as according to syllabus, I told you. Skin is either soft, naked or covered with cycloid or ctenoid scales or ganoid scales. Air bladder or swim bladder is present. Let me show you where is air bladder. Air bladder is a mechanism, you can see here in a bony fish, a structure present near the head or somewhere near the anterior part of the body. This is used to provide buoyancy in the body of fish while swimming. Alright, coming next to the superclass Tetrapoda, the ones that bear limbs. So we have to now discuss 3 characters each under Amphibia, Reptilia, Aves and Mammalia. So I have written a comparative view, children. This will be most easiest for you to remember. Instead of writing separate headings, I've always written the easiest best for you so that you can analyze in a simple way. Class Amphibia. You know, here examples, if I tell you, you'll be able to correlate easily. First one is the Indian bullfrog, Rana tigrina. And the second is an Indian toad, Bufo melanostictus. The term amphibia is derived from 2 keywords, amphi, which means both, and bios means life. What both it means here? Because these representatives can live both in water as well as on land. So let us see them and find the differences. This is Rana tigrina, the common Indian frog, and this is Bufo, the toad. What is the most important difference between them? The difference is that Bufo is poisonous, right? And here it is non-poisonous. There are many other differences, like here the body is slippery and shiny, but here the body is rough with warty skin, right? Etc. So what are the characteristics? 3 in number, as I said, children. The first is these are cold-blooded. Cold-blooded means their body temperature becomes exactly like the surroundings. We also call such animals as poikilothermal. So let me write here for you to make note at one place. We also call them as poikilothermal because these cannot generate their internal heat in body. Eyes are provided with movable eyelids and nictitating membrane. Nictitating membrane is supposed to be a third eyelid, right? More important for a shutter-like device to help in protection. External ears are absent. An eardrum or tympanum is visible on the skin of head. Alright, so you cannot see any external ear in the body, but yes, there's a patch behind the eyes. We call it as tympanum or the eardrum. Coming next to the second class under superclass Tetrapoda, that is class Reptilia. Now here the word reptum means to creep or crawl. Rapier, that's L means Latin word, rapier or reptum, which means to creep or crawl. Examples are turtle, which is called as Chilona. This is the same term, children. Chilone means the scientific term and the common lay word means turtle. And the normal house wall lizard is Hemidactylus. In your textbooks, children, there are many more terms given, right? But instead of confusing ourselves, it would be good if we restrict as per council only 2 examples. So turtle I thought was easy to remember, and Hemidactylus or the house wall lizard. What are the characteristics? I'll show the animals first here. Look at the examples. There are many examples given in your book for reptilia. You can see here 1, 2, then 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and many more. Right? So all this would be definitely many more extras for you. But yes, in general we can say that all sorts of the turtle family, tortoise, etc. Then different type of lizards. You can see here Hemidactylus is this, the common wall lizard. Different types of snakes. You can see here the Naja Indian cobra, and then you can see some amphibian reptiles like this. Alright. So what are the characteristics here? These are cold-blooded. Once again, they're called poikilothermal. They cannot generate their own body heat, and their body becomes exactly the same temperature like outside. Their body, they get most of the body heat from their environment because lack of internal heat generation. Respiration exclusively by lungs. Heart with 2 auricles and 1 ventricle, and ventricle is partly divided by a septum. Coming to the third class, aves. This includes birds all around the globe. So let's see some birds here shown into your books. This is page number 4.73, where it's shown some flightless birds like African ostrich, South American ostrich, etc. The pigeon, Columba livia. Then some more birds like a parrot called Psittacula, then Pavocristatus or the peacock, etc. This is owl, this is house crow, this is vulture. So instead of learning scientific names of all children, it's best you just select any 2, like I have selected the parrot, the Psittacula and Pavocristatus, the peacock. So what are the characteristics of aves? Number 1, they are warm-blooded or homeothermal. That is first time in all these classes you can see these animals, they have a tendency to generate their internal heat. Body temperature is about 100 degree Fahrenheit. Body is covered with feathers. They keep the body warm, and feathers on wings and tail helps in flight. So feathers not just only keep the body warm, but feathers present on wings and tail, they help in flight also. And finally, lungs are greatly developed and have large air sac. Alright, so that's all about the fishes. And coming next to the last class, that is Mammalia, to which we belong as humans. The first example is a kangaroo. This is K. So this is kangaroo, Macropus, and the other is horse or equus. So let us see these examples. There's so many given in your textbook, page number 4.78. So this is the one I have selected, Macropus or kangaroo, but there are many more like hedgehog. Then this is egg-laying mammal, Prototherian, Echnida. Then here you can see a porcupine, a bat. Then this is blue whale and many more like pangolin, camel, etc. So as I said, children, I have selected the easiest best, that is a horse and a human being. These are gorilla, then this is a rhesus monkey, right, etc. So what are the characteristics of Mammalia? Number 1, as the name tells, they have mammary glands, right, in the female to produce milk in order to nourish their young ones. They are warm-blooded or homeothermal, just like birds. This is one common similarity, that is internal heat producing capacity is present, right, and the body temperature is constant irrespective of outside temperature. That is, our bodies, whatever outside in winters it is 2 degrees, but we still maintain our normal constant body temperature. Or in summers, when the temperature shoots up to 48 degrees, our body temperature is still constant. We will not become like the surroundings. Then, external ears or pinnae are present, which are present only in mammals. So there is no other class where we can see the presence of pinnae. So that completes the phylum Chordata, children. Today I completed with this topic. Starting from here, I have started with the general characteristics, 3 basic chordate features, the hierarchy in the flowchart starting from phylum, subphylum, group, subclass and classes. Then I explained you very clearly how you have to study 5 characteristics and where you have to study 3 characteristics plus 2 examples in each. In all these 3 subphylum, I have given at least 4, 5, 6 and 5. So you can select the best of them, right? Minimum 4 to 5 you must learn. In the book, it's given only these many. So restrict to the number that is provided. Then coming under comparative view, here only 3 characteristics in each, 3 and 2 examples. And everywhere it will be 2 examples and 3 characteristics, right? So I'll just show you how exactly we are fulfilling the syllabus, and with that we'll complete this chapter. This is animal chordata, animal kingdom. The group non-chordata, 5 distinguishing characters with 2 examples of porifera, then Cnidaria, Ctenophora, Platyhelminthes, Nematoda, Aschelminthes, Annelida, Mollusca, Arthropoda, Echinodermata and Hemichordata. This I completed in my first video, and today I have completed the second part of this under chordata, subclassification of chordata with reference to notochord, subphyla, that is Urochordata, Cephalochordata, Vertebrata, and the classes included were Cyclostomata, Chondrichthyes, Osteichthyes, Amphibia, Reptilia, Aves and Mammalia. So 3 distinguishing characters with 2 examples of each. So that completes the entire syllabus for the given chapter under Animal Kingdom. So I'll request you to write down these 4 pages, children, and kindly write down these notes very clearly, because these are simplified. Most of the chapters are on classification, children. So you have to learn and understand the more you write and revise, because if you study from the textbooks directly, you'll be rather confused what to study and how to study. But making notes and restricting to them and reading it again and again will make you revise in a much simpler and easier way. Alright, so I'm sending 4 pages to write. The first page, second, this is the third, and this is the fourth. With this, we complete our 9th lesson. That's all for just now. Thank you.